up, everybody? I'm Dominique.
And I am Brandy, and we are your host of
Hey, Fave,
a weekly podcast where two best friends get together and talk about everything and nothing at the same time. What's going on today?
You know, all is well. How you be?
I am good.
Good.
I'm good.
Good. If you're watching, you see we have a lovely guest with us here today. And if you're listening, you'll hear him in a minute. We have the privilege of being joined by, you know, he's a fitness trainer.
Yes.
You do nutrition too, yes? All right. A natural bodybuilder.
Yes.
That is important. And, you know, just all around fitness and motivation enthusiast.
Hey.
You know, King Bear himself.
Hey.
Welcome to the show, Darius Godwin.
Thank y'all
Welcome.
for having me.
Hey.
I'm excited to be on the show.
Yay.
Love what you guys are doing, and I'm looking
Thank
forward
you.
to today.
We are glad you are here. We are looking forward to a fun show today.
Yes.
Should definitely be a lot of fun. All right, so you know, like I done told the people, you do fitness and stuff. Is there any? Is there anything specific you want to tell them or like introduce yourself more than what I've already told them?
Yeah, for sure. So
Okay.
again, thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I'm Darius Godwin, King Bear. King Bear is the brand.
Mm-hmm.
From a fitness perspective, I'm certified personal trainer, certified fitness nutritionist, strength and conditioning.
All the things.
And I'm really big on using my fitness journey and my expertise to empower others to have success on their fitness journey, whether it's competition, whether it's lifestyle, whether it's you just want to be fit, look better, feel better. The doctor told you better start working out.
Listen.
I'm all about, we're winning together with people and, just putting in that effort and teaching people the right way to achieve their health goals.
I
Sounds
like it.
good. Yes. So, how did you get, started on your own fitness journey, and then, how did you move into helping others?
Yeah, so I've been an athlete all my life, so that was a different type of fitness. But that's where I really learned working out, the discipline, things like that, and the benefits. So then when I got done with competition, sports, and different things like that, you start a lifestyle, right? And so it was like, all right, I want to stay, or I want to look better, I want to feel better, etc. You get into corporate, you got to start moving. They start having them donuts and different things at work and stuff. So that kind of, shifted my mindset to, okay, so this is different now. I'm not necessarily training for a game or something like that. I'm training for my health and how I want to look and how I want to feel. And that's what transitioned me into like the lifestyle fitness type of deal. So, and that started about 2011, 2012 is when I really started to get into that. Yeah, so I launched what at the time was SPAC Sports Performance because I was mainly training youth athletes from second grade all the way to professional athletes geared in what I was used to, which was sports, beating agility, getting stronger, faster. I got kids that have been blessed to get like D1 scholarships and just training them from third grade all the way to high school. And, that was the first way. So now it's King Bear Fitness and it's more of, lifestyle, still performance, but more of lifestyle, fitness, training. So that's where we are now.
That's dope. What'd you play? What sports you play?
Football, track.
Okay.
Yep.
What was your position in football?
Running back.
Okay.
Yep. The legs.
Okay. Yes. I love it.
So, I guess, let's go here first. What is the biggest lesson you've learned on your own personal fitness journey?
For my journey is just to stay disciplined and stay consistent if you really want results. Starting something is great, as with any area in life, but definitely with your fitness journey is, stay committed, stay disciplined. Discipline meaning doing all the foundational things that you need to do in order to see results, because the body, it really takes it about 10 to 14 days of absolute consistency to actually start to see change. And that's if you're not skipping. You're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna have days, you're gonna have things, but typically about 10 to 14 days of
like
80% plus, really 90% plus consistency in your nutrition, your training, whatever you're doing, or just even one thing that you see. That's when you're gonna really see the consistency. And once I figured that out, I'm really built on routine and regimen, so I was able to kind of just really capitalize on that.
Okay. That's dope.
Yes.
Everybody telling me 21 days. That's not true.
And that's 21 days is even better, because that's what, like 3 weeks, right? So really the first week your body goes through discovery. The second week your body goes through the start of adaptation, and then the third week after you've been in adaptation, the body starts to say, okay, like now I've discovered what we're doing with food or with training. We're less sedentary now. We're more efficient in our meals now. Okay, now I have a routine because the body is a machine, and if you don't train it, it will train itself, right? And so the third week is when it really starts to say, okay, oh, got you. Now you see the benefits of what you've been sowing those first 10 to 14 days. So
that third week is like when it kind of like locks in.
yeah,
It's
that's
like,
when you
okay.
might say, oh, snap, like I can actually feel my pants are lighter. I mean, you might not physically see.
Yeah.
I mean, some people will. It depends on the body
Yeah.
how it does, but that's when you really will start to, see, feel the change from the seeds you've been sowing consistently.
Let me get my life together.
Hey, you got this. You got this. It's worth it.
Listen, we all got to start and restart, and I think as long as you have the mind to get started or restart,
Yeah.
you in a good spot.
No matter where you are right now, if you've been started, you stop, just get started. That's the hardest. That's one of the hardest battles is just getting started.
Yeah.
I was reading in one of the books I was reading today, Small Wins Build Momentum, and it talked about, just taking action builds momentum, and momentum is what, brings on progress.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You don't have any momentum. Even life is forward, right? Life is moving. That's the positive energy. And if you build that momentum, you'll get closer to progress. So
That's dope.
I like it.
Yep.
Like it.
So, what motivates you to want to motivate others and help others? Because you could easily just be like, I'm doing this for me. I'm going to use what I know for me, and that's it. But you are like really big on, like motivating others and helping others where you can. Like, what motivates you to do that?
I think the biggest thing is I love to see people go from seed to growth, right? So I enjoy seeing, and a lot of times it's not that people don't have the desire, right? You guys have the desire. We all have the desire to look better, feel better. A lot of times the discouragement is not knowing what to do, where to start, right? And so
Yes,
I'm like, hey,
absolutely.
if I love, like I said, my whole life's mission and passion is just empowering people to be successful on whatever their journey of success is. So especially fitness. So the biggest thing for me is just seeing them go from, man, I've been trying, or man, I haven't been trying, I need to try, to, man, I've been doing this thing. Man, I'm more confident in myself because I'm seeing results. Man, I look better. I feel better. My life is healthier, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really what motivates me, is honestly just seeing the growth. I love seeing growth,
Okay.
and that might come from my coaching background too, but I love seeing, kids from the day, like they don't even know how to put their chin strap on, to now they're running plays by memory, right? It's the same thing with your fitness journey. What do I eat? I don't know what to eat, to, oh yeah, no, I don't know. I know I only did that. Oh man, I prepped my meals for this whole week.
Yeah,
That's a win.
absolutely. I can see that.
Yeah.
Like seeing other people get their wins.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, we said you are a natural bodybuilder. How did you get into that?
So again, going back to my competitive nature, actually when I moved back to Raleigh in 2015, I was going to the gym, doing enough to maintain and such. I really don't like doing something for nothing. That's a big thing I always say.
Got you.
And so I got around buddies that, it's all about your environment, right? I don't care what you say, positive and negative. If you're in an environment long enough, it's going to have an effect on you. So your environment matters. So I went to a gym that there was nothing but bodybuilders there. And I kept saying, I'm not competing. And I didn't know much about it at first. So that's also why I was saying that.
Got you.
They used to call me, my nickname was like Mr. I forgot, like a million weeks out, because you talk about weeks out from your show when you're competing. And that was my way of saying, like, I'm never doing a show. But I did everything else that they did. I ate the meals. I did the cardio. They was like, you even doing the cardio? Like, bro, you got to get on stage. And so eventually, again, that influence, right? And I was like, man, I really want to, the biggest thing was like, I want to challenge my body to see what it can be, like how far it can go, what I would look like. And I kind of had in mind, like, this will be a great way for me to do a transformation too, right? It's like, if I'm that strict, I got to get results out of it. So let's just be real, like, what you want out of it. So that's how I got started. And then, from there, I mean, it's been like that ever since.
Cool. So how has that journey been for you?
It's been great. It's been challenging. But overall, it's been great. I have basically competed, and I'm getting ready for my 5th show, getting ready to be on the pro stage coming soon, and that's when you start competing for money. So it's even more motivation.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that. Top three get payouts. And,
You got it.
And so, but I've done 4 shows, and I've started from where I didn't place at all, right, to competing for the top spot in multiple shows.
Nice.
And so that's been a big motivation and driver for me. And then honestly seeing how it's impacted those around me, my family, people that support me, my friends, just seeing how going through that process has either influenced them to start or can resume their fitness journey, or even influence them to have discipline and focus in another area of their life that they want to see something successful. Because they're like, that's my thing, is like, hey guys, I'm you, you're me. If I can do this and achieve this, like, you can apply this same energy, effort, discipline, and whatever you're trying to achieve, and have success. So
That's dope.
yeah, bodybuilding is going great. So
That's dope.
That's good. It's
Well,
cool to watch.
I got a
yeah,
question.
ask.
Go for it.
So, what is the most common myth or misconception when it comes to fitness?
The most, there's a lot of myths. That's a great question. Thank you, Randy. I say the most common myth, man.
Waist trainers.
No, we can talk about waist trainers. That's one. We can talk about that. I think one of the biggest ones, because so many come to mind. I was even thinking about this earlier. I think the biggest one is that just eating less leads to weight loss. And the reason I say that is because, yes, being in a caloric deficit, that's where you're eating lower than your output calories, right? And that's the baseline foundation of how to lose weight, right? But sometimes people actually eat too low. So they're actually in a depletion state. And so their body doesn't even have enough energy to burn body fat or to lose weight. So the biggest thing is not just, I need to cut my eating. It's like, there's a certain amount of cutting your eating you need to do. And I know that might sound like daunting, like, oh my God, see, that's my problem. I can't figure that out. But there's so much out there, even for free, that you can figure out to approximate your calories, approximate your expenditure, what you need to have. We have these Apple Watches that track how many calories we burn, stuff like that. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. The other biggest myth I'll say is that's the one I wanted to say. There is no get fit quick scheme. And that starts with juice diets. That starts with smoothie diets. That starts with even some types of fasting. And I'm not saying those things aren't effective, but they're not necessarily effective for long-term health and success.
Yeah.
And what happens is people want to go and do this detox. Let me detox. Yeah, you're going to lose water and stuff that's been in you anyway, right? But you can't detox your whole life to have success. It's not sustainable.
Right.
So a lot of times what happens is, I always say most diets work, even fad diets, most diets work if you can be disciplined to it, right? The issue is people have a goal of beach, wedding, 21-day challenge, but after the challenge, there's been no core foundational system put in place to get you to lifestyle. So that's an issue I have with a lot of trainers a lot of times, is that they make their clients dependent on them. And so my philosophy is that I teach you how to be self-sufficient. I don't want you to need me. I don't want to be your fitness journey. I want you to start to understand why not eat that, why to eat this, how to, because if I do that, you'll be able to do this long term. If I go away, I don't want you to then your fitness journey is over, right? So the biggest myth is there's no get fit quick scheme, because if the quicker it is, typically the least safe it is, and the least healthy it is.
Keto.
The most unhealthy it is. So
You gonna call out all the things.
So let's go back to waist trainers. Waist trainers. So again, with supplements, I always say supplemental is addition. All right, look it up. Supplemental means in addition to, right, in a sense. And so if you're not doing your core foundational things of being less sedentary, meaning being more active, having your meals, eating the right combinations of food, staying consistent with that, waist trainers, supplements, that stuff it's there to help you if you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's how you maximize that stuff. Okay. So waist trainers, they can work in that they help you sweat more. Usually sweating more is purification, and it allows you to burn and, get rid of toxins, and you're losing water rate, right? Yeah. But like we were talking about, the waist trainer actually stretches over time, so it can give you, that's how the business is though. Waist trainers stretch over time, so that's how it can actually also give you the false sense of, I'm losing inches when it's really
Just time for another one.
stretching.
Hey.
Because of sweat, water, right?
Yeah.
You dry it, it gets wet again, etc. Now, don't get me wrong, it can help to shape, but the best way for it to help you to shape is if you're doing all those other foundational things first. Then the other thing you just said, keto, okay?
Sorry, y'all.
No, there's nothing wrong with keto. Make sure y'all hold me to it so I'll make sure I answer
yeah.
the questions. There's nothing wrong with keto if you can be disciplined and stick to it. Because the issue is when people come off of keto, they typically blow up. And they blow up because they don't strategically, some of it is awareness and understanding. A lot of it is they don't know how to introduce carbs back into their daily diet efficiently. So what happens is their body is so receptive because it hasn't really had carbs in that capacity for so long. So that's why I said keto, intermittent fasting, all these diets, they are very effective if you are disciplined to them and you understand. But the issue usually happens when somebody stops, life happens, or they come off that diet, or they just get diet fatigue, right? And then they try to go back to lifestyle and what?
Fitness is a lifestyle, everybody.
Absolutely.
A lifestyle change.
It is. It's lifestyle. Has to
Brandy.
and it's balanced too, okay? So I know I'm really speaking from, and it might sound really like rigid, and because I make no apologies. If you want results in anything, there's things you have to sacrifice, period. Finances, relationship, work, whatever. Like, there are things that you have to sacrifice if you want results. So
That's
don't
good.
tell me you want results and you're not willing to do what it takes.
That's good.
right?
Absolutely.
Now, yes, there is balance on yes, you can have a few days. Yes, you can. Because the first thing, when can I have my cheat? If you're starting a diet already thinking about when can you have your cheat, are you really committed to the goals, or are you just
Right.
trying to find the most comfortable way to get somewhere? And honestly, the body changing is a very uncomfortable process
Jesus.
because the body is a machine that also likes equilibrium. So when you change that, it may even fight against you. Right? And so that's why it's hard at first. That's why when you get on the Stairmaster that first week of your 30-day, I'm going to the gym, it's like,
Jump roping.
and you might even have the willpower for those first 10 days. But if you don't put habits that are a part of the lifestyle in place, then anything can stop you. And then that's where you go back to, now I got to start over. Girl, I was on, or man, I was on. I was doing like 14 days. And then they never even really say what happened.
The
right?
conviction,
It's
Jesus.
like, and we've all been there, myself included, right?
Yeah.
It's like, really, just to be real, like, you just stop being consistent. Missing a day and
It
getting back
happens.
on it, that's
Yeah.
not, but
When that day turns into a whole week, a couple weeks.
Brandy.
so this
Nah.
is what I'm saying. If you want to see the results you want, you have to be consistent, straight up. No quick get fit scheme. If there is, if somebody's trying to sell you that, be very cautious because your health is also at risk when you start doing that. And you can actually end up worse after
you
your
don't
little
want
quick
that.
fix than you did. And now it's harder to get back.
Dang.
And I've seen it.
And set yourself up.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well.
Circling back to like cleanses and detoxes
Yes.
and all of that stuff, are they beneficial at all? Like,
Most definitely.
because
Yes.
I know I like to every once in a while. I haven't done one in quite a while. I usually just go back to, I'm gonna just clean up my eating. I'm not gonna do a whole cleanse. But every once in a while, I would have the mind, like, if I know I've just been complete trash,
It be
like, you
that
know what?
sometimes.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna like cut all the way down, do like, but I never look to do it long term. And the idea is to let that kickstart me back into clean eating.
Right. And
yeah.
that's totally fine if there's the follow through.
Gotcha.
Right? So most people detox and go back to trash. Right? And I love how you said that so we could talk candidly.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Most people detox because they know they eating trash. Right? And a little trash is good. But in the grand scheme of things, and I say that in the meaning like it's okay to enjoy yourself, it's okay to enjoy food, right? But don't let foods control your life. And detoxes and stuff like that, they are great kickstarters, they're great cleansers, because I say detox no more than twice a year. That's my recommendation.
Yeah.
Do
Okay.
have a semi-annual detox, right?
makes sense.
Whether
Okay.
it's start of the year, mid-year, and it's the same,
Yeah.
right? Or wherever, however you want to have it, do that, because yes, the stuff in our food is terrible nowadays, right? Even when you're trying to eat healthy. So it is great to reset. It gives your digestion, because most of our issues, diseases, health, everything comes from our gut health, really. Right?
Yes, I've heard
And
that.
so if you're continuing to keep that clean, but I love what you said. You said, I typically go back to like schedule or just overall focus clean eating.
Yeah.
That's actually better than that's another quick fix thing, right? Let me do this 3-day trauma to my gut,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not a spa process, is
No,
it?
no.
Right? The stuff doesn't even taste good, and then you working on the other end for
Yeah.
3 days. You can't go nowhere and stuff. And like I said again, everything is better to if you don't have to be right tomorrow, right? You can be right 6 months from now. Now, how much? Even when I said it, like how much more does the calming of that process now sound like? Okay, wait, like I ain't got to get it all in one day,
Right.
right? And that allows you to have that, but you're still gradually, moving forward and progressing forward. So.
I think it's more motivating when you look at it that way instead of trying. I think maybe that's probably why people get overwhelmed because they're like, oh no, I need to do this in this short window. But if you look at it like, I'm just gonna start making these steps now to see progress over time.
Yes.
Maybe they will be more willing to go ahead and like make that first step.
Absolutely. 100%. I love that you said that though about you just go back to overall cleaning up your eating because that's also not such a daunting task either. It's like, hey, this week I'm just gonna start back eating intuitively. Let's be real. We know what's too much and we know what we shouldn't eat. Straight up. Even you don't need a trainer to tell you that.
No, you can feel it.
Thank you.
Amen. Because
You
darn
know.
it. Shoot.
You know, right? So is it the instruction? I do believe in accountability, right? But at the end of the day, how many times have we seen people accomplish extraordinary things without the accountability? It's because they made a commitment to themselves that, no, we're doing this. I can't do the journey for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Even if I give you the best plan, what's the best? I hear, Barrett, what's the best plan workout to get my chest bigger? What's the best plan to get abs?
Change your
right?
habits.
Thank you. Each one of those still aligns with the, hey man, I could tell you to go do 1,000 push-ups, but your chest won't be bigger tomorrow, right?
Still
I
going.
wish, but
Right. No, same. Me too. Right? But I can tell you that, hey, just drink water tomorrow and you're gonna have a 6-pack. No, but you
Please,
get
Jesus.
closer to a 6-pack,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
So it's about over time it compounds. It's compound interest in your, and that's why I love, I talk about finances too, but that's why I love those two, and I'm really passionate about those two because a lot of the same foundational principles apply. Discipline, the right regimen, right? Habits, making it a lifestyle, and then over time you see exponential results, whether positive or negative.
Okay. So like since we're here,
Yeah.
let's just go ahead and talk about the importance of like mindset
Yes.
when it comes to fitness. Like why is it important? And then like what I guess what type of mindset is important to have to see success or progress?
Yeah, mindset is the foundation, right? Because your thoughts control, your perception and your thoughts control what you do, right? And you have to have a mindset that I'm not there yet, but if I stay committed and I do this long enough, I will see the results that I desire. So you really actually have to picture in your head how are you going to look? What's the end result look like, right?
High school.
And that sets up. And see, no, I'm glad you said that because what I tell people is that let's also not get stuck in the past because you are a different you now, right?
True.
And so even if you've had a fitness journey in the past and you're restarting, look at, I'm going to be better than I was in high school. I'm going to be better than I was the last cut, the last trim, right?
Yeah.
And so the mindset has to be forward thinking, but the mindset also has to be that, hey, this is a journey. I'm staying committed because you're going to have days where you feel amazing, you flexing, you taking your pics. I was at the gym today and you can have days where you're like, I ain't feeling this. And you can be the most motivated person in the world. Even me in competition, there are days where I'm like, yo, this workout sucked. But I have to remind myself that, hey, what can you be thankful for? Gratitude. Like I was able to do it because there's some people that are not that wish they were. So a mindset of focus and discipline, a mindset of gratitude, and really just continuing to focus on your goal,
I like it.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So what are like some of the most important tips or facts that you would like to share?
Yeah. Tips. In fact, I say, number one, get started and stay started. Okay. Get started and stay consistent. Okay. Consistency is going to trump 1 week of 100% all day. Right. Even 80% for a year is going to beat 100% this week, 25% this week, 0% next week. So get started and stay consistent. Be patient with your process, because there will be times where you just don't have it. There will be times when life happens, and one bad day of eating, one not so desirable week of consistency shouldn't kill your whole journey.
True.
Okay, it shouldn't if
Brandy.
you're really committed. So you know, get started, stay consistent, be patient in your process, and be willing to sacrifice for what you want. That's it. Like, I mean, those are like core. That's probably mindset. I'm probably answering the mindset
I mean,
stuff
but still,
now.
like though that
But and other tips is just hey, stay moving, stay hydrated, and be mindful of what you eat. So if we want to get really specific, keep your water up. Okay, stay moving. So even at times when your nutrition may not be the best, continue to be less sedentary, more active. Even if it's a walk, it doesn't have to be you go to the treadmill and run 3 miles. Just stay more active overall. The body flows better. It responds better. It stays healthier. And then 3, just be mindful of what you're eating. Be mindful of what you're eating. Like I said, you don't need a degree. You don't need a certification. You know what's good, better, best, bad. For you.
Yeah.
Okay? And you know what's good in moderation, and you know what's bad in a surplus, right?
Yeah.
Let's just, if you could do that, honestly, most people could stay healthy and achieve baseline goals just by following those 3 principles: hydration, staying active, and being mindful of what you put in your mouth.
Nice. Question.
For everybody.
Yep. Ask.
I was figuring out the wording. What is an ideal? Some people be like, oh, I want to see this in 5 days, or I'm giving myself 1 month. What is like a realistic, ideal time to give yourself to actually see change or to achieve a goal?
And so that goes back to, well, I learned this I was in leadership training this week, and I learned this. There's a phrase that say, it depends. And I know people don't like to hear that because they want to hear, hey, it's going to take you 10 days to get abs. But your body's different. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's body responds differently to things, and also it's the discipline. So I would say 30 days of consistency, you should see change. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go from a 36 waist to 33 waist and in that long. Sorry to bust your bubble, but sometimes, like a lot of my clients I work with, I actually find their wins are more so on how they feel in their. You're going to feel the difference in how you fit in your clothes first before you see, honestly. And then people are going to actually see your physical change before you see. And I learned that a lot with competing. Like, people be like, man, you leaning out. You didn't. And because we have natural body dysmorphia and we see ourselves every day. So it's hard for us to see those changes. That's why progress pics are important. That's why video is important. Recording yourself, maybe in the same attire, maybe taking the same flex pic you like, or a pic you think or you want to look good in, doing that consistently once a week. But I'd say, 30 days of consistency. That's why people do the whole 30 days plan 30. But 30 days of consistency, you should feel different if it's the right plan, and you should then definitely start to see some change. For instance, I say this with the bodybuilding journey is, people see stage me, right? But they don't see that I didn't compete until my first show until 2019. I started the journey to that show in 2018. So that's another thing I'm big on, is showing people the journey of the transformation. And that was 100% consistency, not missing any meals, not missing cardio, not missing workouts, sacrificing time with family, sacrificing events, sacrificing. So, and I'm like, hey, like, this is what it takes to be here. Everybody's mark is not that though, right? And so I try to make it in the sense of, hey, like, it's still required of you, and being natural bodybuilding, like, too, I'm not an enhanced athlete, so, I'm blessed to, but it took me, everybody's like, I want to get cut. I want to get big, but get lean at the same time, right? That's another myth. Another myth is spot training. You don't just lose body fat in your waist and nowhere else. It doesn't work like that. Your body loses proportionately. Your body gains proportionately. Now, how you train, ladies, hit the weights through resistance training. That's how you shape the muscle, which creates the aesthetic look. So you can do all this losing weight you want, not eating, doing cardio. Really, honestly, you're just gonna lose the weight, and you're just gonna be a lower weight you.
Weightlifting.
Not have the structure. So weightlifting is key, but that's the other big myth. You cannot spot train. You don't spot lose weight. Okay, and I think that's where the weight trainers and all that stuff comes in too. You don't spot lose weight. But my bad, I went off on a tangent.
No, you're good.
But yeah, just 30 days of consistency, you will feel first, and you should see some results for sure. Okay. But again, that goes to how consistent you are. When I'm not saying 65% consistency.
You got to be.
You got to be. I say 80. I usually say 80, 85 plus. You should have some results. Okay. If you want the more immaculate the results you want,
the harder you got to.
Consistency you should be.
Got you. Okay. Thank you. Good to know.
You got this, Brandy. You got this. You got this. Let's go. You got this.
We gonna do it.
Absolutely.
And anybody listening to this,
progress.
you got this. Don't be daunted or don't feel discouraged. If anything, I'm encouraging you that I always say it's worth it for you to invest in your health and fitness. You are the biggest you always hear people, you're the big investment you can make, right?
Yeah.
You really are. Your health for sure. Because how are you going to enjoy all the abundance of all these other things you're manifesting, working for, all that board you got, sticky notes? You can't do it if your health is trash.
Right.
Yeah. And you can't get healthy if you're eating trash.
That is true.
And if you're eating trash and not moving,
you just really setting yourself up for something.
It's only a matter of time before that metabolism slows down.
Looking like a balloon.
But there's hope for those that are willing to take the
chance. I think it's important for people to know, listen, I'll finish my sentence. I had a thought while I was doing that. It's important for people to realize, it's never too late. And then the listen came from, I just got, the people be up on the doggone 600 pound listen, if they can, if they can get started and all that, listen, it is not too late for you.
You don't have an excuse. One of my motivations for competing and everything I do, and I talked to him today actually, is I have a cousin that's a paraplegic, and not a sob story, but it's a motivating story because he got in a car accident when he was 8 years old, lost his mom, his dad, a couple of siblings. So he's been crippled, and here in his later years, he's 65 now. He's he stays in a group home. He has to have somebody take care of him, and not once, no exaggeration, you can ask anybody in my family, have I ever heard him complain.
Wow.
There have been times where medically he has needed care, and we only found out because he does not complain. We have to force him to say, "Are you uncomfortable? Are you this?" Wow. And so that's my motivation. So on days when I'm like, I don't feel like it, I'm not that's me. Find what your motivation is, okay? Yeah. But I'm like, he can't go to the gym if he wanted to. Yeah. For him, he wish because he's paralyzed from the waist down.
Got you.
I'm like, man, even a bad day at the gym is a great day for me, Because
at least you can.
At least I can do it. So, but what I was trying to get at is you don't have an excuse. Either you want it or you don't. And I'm not saying either you want it or you don't. I'm not being insensitive. I know there are factors that hinder things, especially for my ladies. I know you ladies, y'all deal with, my hat goes off because y'all deal with hormones. Y'all deal with other things that men don't. Y'all naturally, we have higher testosterone levels, which help us maintain more muscle, which also helps us to keep body fat off of us, right? Whereas estrogen is more of a preservative type, of hormone, so it holds on for the right reasons, right? So I understand that. I'm not being insensitive to any of that, but I'm just telling you, we have to stop being so apologetic for and making excuses for a lack of commitment. And I think once you look in the mirror and you can have that conversation with yourself, and be real about it and open with yourself. Not me. You don't have to prove nothing to me. But if you could prove it to yourself, I promise you. I mean, it's so worth it. I wish I could tangibly put it in a package to give to somebody. But if you can make that commitment to yourself, there's no excuse. Right? And find what that means to you. That might not mean 8 days a week. And I know there are only 7 days a week. But then my mindset, that's how I know there's not 8 days a week. Maybe it might be 3. Maybe it might be getting started with 1. Right? And again, what I talk about, get started, stay consistent. That builds momentum. Momentum grows, right? You know, the snowball effect also works going upwards as well. So
That's dope.
I like it.
Man.
So, what is like the most common question that you get from people?
the most common question I get from people is, how do I get big and toned at the same time? How do I lose weight but muscle? So ladies is, how do I lose my waist and get a butt? Right? And for males is, how do I get shredded but also grow my bench 500 pounds? Right? And so again, it goes back to, those goals are achievable, but those goals take longer because you're actually doing opposites. Okay. And what I mean is, you aesthetically, if you lose weight and you train your glutes with resistance training, all fitness and aesthetics is an illusion, especially in bodybuilding. You're creating an illusion, because I actually cut down to my lowest self, and when I pump up, I look bigger. So you're creating an illusion. So it's the same thing with ladies. Your waist is going to, your glutes and your curves are going to seem bigger if your waist gets smaller. That doesn't mean that your buttocks, right, gets bigger, and it can grow, and because muscle is heavier than fat, right? But what I'm trying to say is, muscle sculpted is actually going to be a little less in volume than body fat, right? So you lose the weight, but train. I think the biggest thing for my ladies is, you got to get this. Don't just do the cardio and the food and don't lift, okay? You're not going to look manly. That's another myth. You're not going to look manly, okay? Most of the people that you guys see that look manly are enhanced athletes or people that are going for a hardened aesthetic look because of competition, okay? You're not going to look manly, right? And honestly, some of the best bodies and physiques for ladies I've ever seen come from them lifting weights, and they actually do very minimal cardio. It's their nutrition and their training, okay? Even if it's 3 core movements, you squat, hip thrust, and something else. With weights, you will get it achieved, right? For males, okay? Yes, you can cut up and grow in your lifts, but it's going to take you longer, because as you're cutting carbs, as you're cutting food is energy. So as you're cutting energy, the body has less energy to want to produce output, but also to grow. Like you also lose a little bit of muscle too when you lose fat. So that's the name of the game, is trying to lose the fat without losing as much muscle. Because again, what I say, the body loses weight overall proportionately, right? And when I say proportional, I mean it doesn't lose in proportions. It loses weight in total. Yeah. It doesn't say, hey, let me lose fat, not muscle. We'd love it if it would. Right. Hey, let me lose waist, not glutes. Because I've even had some like, man, I lost my glutes, but I still got my waist, right? Yeah. But what really happened is, the areas of most body fat, the areas that hold the most, are typically the areas that lose first and the fastest. Right? And then also with the body, where you gained last is typically so let me put it this way. So for me, my upper body is hardest to put on muscle and gain, right? I got the legs, shout out to moms, right? So my legs are always last when I cut. So I do all that work trying to put on chest, shoulders, arms, and that's the first to go when I start cutting. But I can't. The only way I can manipulate that is through the training. Okay. Right? And all I'm really doing is just filling out the muscle through resistance training, which creates the set. Because when I start cutting, a lot of people are like, man, like you getting big. And I'm like, dude, I'm 15 pounds lighter than the last time you saw me. So anyway, I went on a tangent, but those are the two things that most people, you can't, sorry to break it to you. Not in a short period of time. Yeah. That's why if you have a mindset for longevity, you're not in a rush. And you're making those small sculpting, chiseled movements, and then before you know it, oh snap, shoot, let me go ahead and sculpt some more over here, right? But if you're like, now I want to chop this off and now it's a sculpture, right? You're gonna do that, and you're gonna chop that block off, and it's just gonna be a slimmer block of what you already had. So, and it goes the other way as well. I want to get big, right? That doesn't just mean eat a ton and that's it. Like, cause you gonna put the clay on that sculpture and you ain't gonna be able to put your fingers and sculpt it. It's just gonna be
Just a blob.
Can't breathe.
And that's the thing I'm trying to say. If and I'm not saying this in the most positive way. If you guys can get that perspective and us just having this conversation in the last few minutes, you know, how much more should, like, you guys have no excuse is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I'm so glad you said something about your legs because, of course, I follow you on Instagram, and you know, I have certain body types in like women that I absolutely like, and it's the thickness of their thighs, and then it's like things. So
yes.
Because you have thick thighs. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I have this big thing about thick too for men, but go ahead.
I like it.
It's okay.
But what type of exercises do you do to get that, I guess, the sculpting of your thighs, your legs?
Yeah. Well, first,
I need to know.
First of all,
I need to do it.
Let me go back and clarify my conversation. So y'all, you know, they say y'all clip this up. When I say I had a thing about the thick thighs for men, what I meant was I have a thing about people calling men. Now I know the ladies love it, okay, so if that's what you want to describe me as, and it makes you feel amazing, I'm all for that, ladies. But I don't refer to my thighs as the T word.
Okay.
But you're fine. You're fine. No, you're fine. I'm just.
It's just yourself and
listen,
the other side of things.
Listen.
That's how we.
So I just want to make sure anybody pulling up the wrong way and understanding I don't have a thing for any male, or I don't have a thing for thick and male in the same sentence at all. Okay. So anyways, let's continue with the productivity of Hey Fave podcast. Please clip that up. I need it.
Gosh, that's hilarious.
But your question, how do you sculpt?
The strongness.
Yes, I love it.
In your muscles and your thighs. What type of exercises do you do to get that to sculpt?
That's an excellent question. Y'all ask great questions. So
I need it.
Your squats, even if you start with body weight, okay? And if you got a gym membership, you go to the gym doing, you know, leg extensions, leg curls. But if you want to do body, so here's 3 body weight exercises. No gym needed. You can do them at home. You can do them anywhere. Okay. All right. Body weight lunges. And they can be in place or walking. You can add intensifiers on them. Intensifiers mean things that make them more challenging, whether you elevate one foot, whether you do static holds or whatever. So lunges, body weight squats it's a full body really exercise. It works core, but mainly your legs, glutes, and hamstring. The squat is one of the most effective foundational exercises you can do for lower body and really your whole body, but core and lower body. It's gonna work hamstrings, glutes, calves, and quads. Okay.
My calves don't need me no
so,
bigger.
And so same here. And then the third one I say for you could do at home too is you could do hip thrusts. You can do hip thrusts on the floor and stuff. That's gonna work your glutes, especially for the ladies, right?
How heavy do the dumbbells, right?
Yes, dumbbells.
How heavy do those need to be? Because I only have 15 pounds.
So resistance needs to be heavy enough to where it challenges you. Let's put it like that.
So I need to go like 30.
And if and it depends on how many reps you're doing as well. Okay. If you do enough reps, it'll be heavier. But I usually say I try to get a weight that's challenging, the most challenging in the 12 to 15 rep range, meaning about 13, 14, and 15, you like, right?
Okay.
You pushing. So that's gonna help you get growth and progression. Okay. Now, if you're looking for just more of strength, endurance, and stuff, okay, you can pick a weight and do 20 and 30, right? Okay. But the muscle's smart, but it's dumb. It doesn't really know this is 100. It knows this is the fibers I need. This is the blood flow I need for this amount, right? And I know that's kind of getting a little nerdy on that's my nerd side, but a lot of people don't realize that, yeah, you can pump big weights, but the muscle responds more to volume than it actually does to weight resistance wise. Okay. So pick a weight that's controllable with good form and smash.
Okay.
All right.
If y'all see me in Walmart testing out weights, just keep walking. Okay. I'm just testing.
Controllable. You want it to be if you want the ultimate best test of a weight that you need, you want it to be controllable enough to where you can handle it, but where it also like, I can't really take no break on this.
Yeah.
And if you just stick with that, And then when it gets easier, guess what that means? Adaptation is occurring. And what does adaptation mean? Your muscles are redeveloping stronger. That typically means that they're redeveloping in shape from recovery. And that's how you do that. So in the gym, exercises, really the same. Now add weight intensifiers to those, right? But now you got leg extensions, leg curls. You got the machines. Don't be afraid of the machines. The machines are fine. Free weights are good, but for stability and safety, start with the machines. They also help with form and range of motion as well. But squats for hamstrings and glutes, RDLs and glute thrusters are weighted RDLs and glute thrusters. RDLs is Romanian deadlift. That's where you target more on your hamstrings and your glutes.
That's when you're standing.
That's when you're standing, yep, and you're stretching down, and it's a hamstring stretch exercise, and you squeeze up at the top.
We should do it. We should do a video where
we got to. Let me know. I got you. That's one of my favorite to teach because it's more of a field exercise. But heavy squats, ladies, heavy squats is gonna get the core and the glutes, the legs right. So if that's all you do is that and lunges, you're gonna be what I call sidewalk cracking walker, like meaning like when you feel me, like but in a very ladylike fashion.
Let me start eating grass.
If your legs get bigger and your glutes get bigger, guess what else gets smaller?
Your waist gets smaller.
Thank you.
So isn't it because I've heard you burn more calories working the bigger muscle and like legs and stuff.
Well, you burn more calories at rest from resistance training.
Okay.
Cardio, and I want to speak frankly, cardio is actually great for the heart, blood flow, regulating temperature, stuff like that. Okay. Cardio is a stressor to the working out is stress to the body.
Yeah.
You recover both, even resistance training, right? Resistance training tears down the muscle fibers. You rest, recover, you eat the right nutrition that rebuilds, they rebuild, they overlap, rebuild, and that's how they come back stronger and more developed in shape, right? You burn more calories for all my, I want to burn calories. I need to burn more calories. You burn more calories by resistance training than you do cardio because you burn more calories at rest because it stimulates muscle building, right? And muscle, the more muscle you have, the more ability you're going to be able to burn fat. So, yeah.
Cool.
So what is it because I've seen people go in and lift weights first and then do cardio. Is that just
that's great.
What is that?
So I'm not against doing some cardio if it helps you warm up and stuff first. I typically prefer dynamic stretching, meaning moving stretching. Static stretching is where you're doing your 10-second hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Dynamic stretching is some type of movement, side to side lunges, something with your arms, those are different. Those are dynamic, means changing, right? You're moving. Static stretching is typically good for post-workout recovery because you're lengthening the muscle. And if you lengthen the muscle too much before you work out and put it under resistance, you actually create it in a weaker state. Imagine it like a rubber band, right? I'll take this one out. So your muscle, you really want it about like this, right? This means it's elastic enough to move and be flexible, but it's still strong enough, right? Have you ever, I'm a big kid, so have you ever taken one of them manila or yellow, whatever you call them, rubber bands, and you grab it at first and it's really tight, but then when you stretch it out, what happens in the middle? You start seeing it get white and stuff like that. That's the same thing the muscle does. So imagine you stretching that muscle and now you try to flick it somewhere. You like stretch, and when you try to flick it, it's like, right? But if you just grab it at first and you do it, it's like, right? Yeah. So that's the same thing with the muscle and training. So I have a big thing with going to do 30, 40 minutes of cardio before you go resistance train because you actually want to use the majority of your energy expenditure on your resistance training, which is what you're going to get the most result overall out of. And then you can do the cardio when you're typically in what we call a semi-fasted state. Okay. Now, if doing cardio first, if nothing else, you got to do cardio first and work out, and that's what gets you to work out, do that. Okay. But if you're asking me about optimal, I do a little 3 to 5 minute warm up, even if it is treadmill, and you do a little stretching, and then get that workout in. Use your energy on what's gonna give you the most return.
I like it.
Makes sense.
I like it. Yes. Hey man.
Hope you guys are getting something.
Yes. No, it's really good.
It's motivating.
I hope you
guys got
work out this evening.
You guys got this.
Absolutely. So I guess a question would be for somebody that has hit a plateau, maybe,
Great question.
or is getting discouraged for whatever reason, what would you tell them? What would you say to them?
Plateau. First of all, I would say assess your regimen and habits. Okay, so nutrition wise or weight loss wise, a lot of times you hit a plateau because you're not adjusting your nutrition to continue progression. What did I say the body was? It's a machine. And what do machines do? They adapt. The body always wants equilibrium. So that's why the fitness journey is a journey. You make a change, the body adapts. You make a change, the body adapts. So adaptation sounds to me like maintenance. So there's 3 phases you're in. You're either in a growth phase, you're either in a maintenance phase where you're just maintaining, which is totally fine, or you're in a deficit or a cut phase, right? So your body, so say you're cutting, you're in maintenance right now, you drop your calories, you increase your activity, you're training, you're working out, start seeing the results, then it start to slow a little bit. Okay, that's because now your body's adapted to, oh, you're only feeding me 1,400 calories now. So now I've adapted. At first, you started losing that weight. And so now you're stuck at 160, 140, right? So what I would say was, okay, now adjust again. There's no set it and forget it. That's another myth. Not necessarily myth, but something there's no set it and forget it plan. Okay, your body's always changing. Life's life, right?
Yeah.
So you have to continue to progress. So assess your habits, maybe adjust your caloric intake, your nutrition, or is your workout intensity. If you're just going in now and you're not tracking your workouts, you're not having some type of mindfulness of what you did the last time, and you're just doing the same thing, you do the same thing long enough, you're going to get the same results. At first, well, man, I was doing 30 minutes at first. Okay, it might need to be 35 now. Or, man, I was lifting the 10 pounds. Are those 10 pounds easy now? Well, actually they are, right? If it's easy, what's it worth?
Yeah.
So growth and change comes from challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, irrational challenge, but that's why if I go lift the 50s, right? The 50s might start out hard at first. I might only be able to do 8. And if I end up starting to do 12, okay, now it's time for me to go to the 55s.
Yeah.
Right? And
That's
that's
good.
a plateau, right? If you're doing the same regimen, change is okay. So I know I talked about consistency, but if you have been consistent for 3 to 6 months, 4 to 8 weeks, right? That's why a lot of trainers do 4 to 8 week minimum, 8 week minimum, 12 week minimum, right? Then you can change your protocol. Protocol meaning your workout. Maybe instead of doing a Stairmaster, now you do treadmill intervals. Or maybe now instead of doing your walks, now you do a walk jog. Maybe instead of just eating a salad and grilled chicken or whatever, and now you might, even the body adapts to foods too. So maybe now you need to change up your nutrition. I know it sounds like a lot, but start with one of those variables. Yeah. I always say don't change too many variables at once unless you're just starting from ground up. Change one of the variables, see how it goes. Okay.
Lifestyle, y'all.
Yep, lifestyle. And it's worth it. I
Absolutely.
repeat, it is worth it.
Listen, it may suck when you get started. You may not like it.
I don't.
I'm about to say, I know Brandy does not like working out, but when you are consistent and stuff, do you not feel better and do you not like what you see?
Oh, yeah.
That
Momentum is
true,
great.
true story.
It costs you more to not do it.
Yeah,
True.
I don't
Medical
end up
stuff.
hospital.
Thank you. You have to think about it like that. Let's just get over the vanity aesthetic. If that's what motivates you, by all means, fuel off of it. But we have to be healthier.
Yeah. And not to just throw Brandy under the bus. I don't always feel like working out either, but I think I enjoy it more than she does.
Absolutely.
Well, I think because I have found what I enjoy.
Yeah. Find what you enjoy. Yeah. Find what you enjoy.
I'm still trying to figure out how I used to run track and band and all this. How?
We all right. Right now, we about to have our, because a lot of my clients say I'm like their therapist at the same time. Listen, let's get over this comparing you today to you then.
There you go.
Let's just keep it a buck. And then now let's not compare me now to then. You're a different body then, straight up. Your metabolism was different.
Absolutely.
Just that you can't control that. Your metabolism was different when we were younger, right?
Yeah.
So now let's work on, okay, I'm Brandy now. This is the Brandy I want to be tomorrow.
Absolutely.
What does it take me to do that? And then compound that over every day, right? So that's the mindset I want you to have is not, man, I used to, yeah, that was a totally different body. You could get 5 hours of sleep. You could eat snacks. But you got to think about your lifestyle. How active were you then naturally? Your metabolism under 20 Come on, right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now you can't use that. So I'm just trying to say, don't use your past as the benchmark for where you're trying to go in your future.
Yeah.
Right? Use what you want, what you desire, even if it's a culmination of motivations.
Yeah.
And say, this is the Brandy I want to be. This is the person that I want to be in the future. And okay, what does that look like? Let's start doing that day to day until we see that person. That's it.
A word. You know, I've been being convicted all day, y'all, from church to now. So
just getting you all the way.
Hopefully,
all
gracefully,
the way together.
Conviction prompts and promotes change.
Look.
Change promotes and brings on growth.
True.
Growth leads us to success.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. Let's see. What do I want to? How we want to wrap
Anything.
this? Let's talk about King Bear the brand.
Hey.
Yes.
Sounds good.
You
So King Bear the brand, nickname is Bear. People always kind of ask me where the name came from, which I appreciate. And you know, Bear came from sports, you know, and it kind of became a household name. The King part just became from just the way I try to, the standard I try to set and carry myself, and not king as in over and above other people, but just the standard of excellence, success, everything that we talked about, which starts with the foundational things, right? Being able to serve others, being able to be consistent. So that's the brand. King Bear, the brand is our motto. My motto is, you know, relentless grind, motivation, and genuine energy. And I'm heavy on the relentless grind. That's big. And when I say relentless grind, that's the energy I live with. That's the intensity. And that's just my passion and gratitude for life, right? Every day is a new opportunity to get better in whatever you're doing. And so the brand itself is a brand that seeks to empower and assist other people to be successful on their journey. And that's through all the things that I do, not just fitness, but fitness, financial literacy, and mindset motivation. And so, yeah, that's the brand. It's fitness, it's apparel, it's financial literacy, financial stewardship. The Money Beast community is that. And I know this is more the fitness one, but this is the brand. And, you know, I'm all about just genuine energy because that's me, as you can probably tell. Like, I'm passionate about a whole lot of things, and that's how I like to live because I hope that passion, you know, exudes into others and can help motivate them to be successful in whatever they're doing.
Definitely.
It does.
I think, yes, you definitely, I will say, I guess I can only speak for me, but you do a good job motivating others. Like, watching you, you know, even when I'm being trash, I'll be like, look at him, motivating. I should be doing that.
I can't tell you how many people are like, but see, that's the thing. For my fitness journey, too, even my fitness journey, not even training people, is I wanted to be that. I know that my goal is that if I can empower one person a day, I'm successful. I'm fulfilling my purpose, right? So even if it's that person that will never tell me, but I made them get off the couch because they're like, God, I'm tired of watching this. Let me go to the gym, right? Even if that's it, my purpose is fulfilled, right? Through that. And so sometimes, because I try to show people, I'd rather show you the extreme required sacrifice, and then you find your way in the scale. Right? And so I'm like, yo, because I never want somebody to be able to, I'm like, there is no excuse unless you physically can't do it.
Yeah.
And I do that by you seeing me do that. And I don't do it for that, but
it also helps.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, I wanted to either motivate you, piss you off, or you know, or whatever, right? So it's like, but I've had people, you know, I've been blessed to have people actually, you know, which I appreciate and admire, the courage for them to like even reach out, and it's like, man, I got tired of watching you train, so I had to go, and I'm like, let's go, like, you know what I mean? To me, I'm like, like, and not that they got tired, but it's like, there's no way I can keep sitting on the couch, eating this chip, swiping my thing. Every time I come up, bare daggone working out. And it's like, let me go, right? Even if you don't get rid of the chips yet, at least get up. Do something. But right now, if you're watching this, you could get up and do like 10 squats. You know that, right? Jumping jacks, push-ups. That's a quick, I'm giving a free home workout out right now.
Because he done
5 rounds, 10 squats,
There you
10 jumping jacks, 10 mountain climbers. That's 3 things. 10 push-ups. You can do modified if you can't do a full one, right? I don't call them women or male push-ups. I call them modified because I believe that women can achieve and do the same physical movements that male can do. And that's how I train my clients. And then you can do 10 crunches and do that 5 rounds. Try to not stop in between the rounds. And I promise you, it'll be a good workout.
Just go back to the beginning of the episode and do what he just said while
you watching it.
You
Yeah.
know? And then next thing you know, you done a whole workout.
Especially if I didn't say anything that was important to you in this podcast. At least you got a workout out of it. You feel me?
Yeah, you got your whole workout.
Whole
Oh
thing.
my goodness. So, is there anything else like that you just want to share, or anything we didn't cover, or?
I mean, I just say that in your fitness journey, accountability is key, okay? So find somebody, even if they can't go to the gym with you, find somebody that's going to call you, that's going to check on you, that's going to see how you're doing. And that's going to get on your behind if you're not being consistent and doing what you need to do. So tell somebody your goal. Don't be afraid of that, okay? Accountability is powerful. And accountability will save you on some of those days where your willpower, which it will, your willpower won't show up. Okay, starting a journey is always exciting. It's fun. Well, it's typically exciting and fun, and you have more dedication to do it. But please, find an accountability partner because it'll help keep you disciplined. Just knowing you got to answer to somebody that'll be like, man, I don't want to say I only did 3 this week, so let me go ahead and get this in. And if you compound that over time, telling you. So accountability is key, and believe that you can do it. Just believe that you can do it because you can.
Absolutely. You can. I
All
agree.
right, Dominique, Amanda.
Listen, you know.
Yeah. You got it. And hit me up if you need help.
Hey,
Also that. Yes,
DJ?
Absolutely. So, yes, absolutely. He has given us a lot of valuable information
I'm
today.
about to listen to this over again.
As you should, as everybody should.
Look.
Listen to it.
Yes.
And watch
and
it.
share.
And share it.
Comment.
Listen.
Let's go.
Comment if you have like questions.
Yes.
And maybe we can either just like shoot him the questions and get the answers, or just bring him back to answer the questions. We can do a Q&A episode.
What questions do you guys have? It can be anything. Ask. And let's do it.
I love it.
But thank you for sure. This has been really good.
Thank you guys for having me.
really
It's
good.
been
I
amazing
love it.
to be a part of what you guys are doing. Yeah.
Where can the people find you? For
Yes.
other things?
You can find me at King Bear 100. The O's are the letter O and not the number. So King Bear 100. On Instagram, also on TikTok. I don't do that much on TikTok yet, but King Bear 100 on Instagram. On there, you can find links to everything else, even the website www.kingbear100, which is actually the number, kingbear100.com. And there you'll find apparel. You'll find ways to reach out to me, but definitely chop it up with me on Instagram, YouTube, King Bear 100 on YouTube as well. And there is going to be, more so fitness motivation and mindset motivation on there. So, and lifestyle. So you guys can see a little bit more of my journey.
Absolutely.
That's dope. Y'all hit him up.
Absolutely.
Y'all hit him up.
You know, he's not making stuff up. I've done a challenge with him. And
Yeah, she actually,
I'm actually in the process of trying to restart that. But
Dom
it was
actually
fun.
Dom won the challenge. Look
at
Yes, Dom won. So that's even more validation. And I forgot about that because it's just been a while. But Dom, and even after that, Dom was still being consistent. But even in that, I was very tough on them because they were my family. But I knew if I was tougher on them, even if you started at 100% and you drop down to 80, it's not 30 to 0. Right?
Yeah.
So even in some of the things, even if they say, hey, I didn't like this and this and this about the challenge, but I learned this, that still helps them progress on their journey. Right?
Yeah.
And they can apply that by, like you said, I love how you don't start back with this abrupt boom, right?
Yeah.
Because that a lot of times can set you up for failure. But start back. If you stopped right now, for whoever stopped and was on it, you were killing it, you were getting to it, don't worry about it. Take a deep breath. Tomorrow, just get started back with the basic things. Don't try to do it all at once and look at it like Dom said, I'm attacking it from let me just start getting back. Yeah. Not, I got to do this whole flip circus deal.
Yeah, like I still use those workouts and everything. So
there you go. Tap in.
Gotta win. I love
you
it.
know, I'm doing what I can. I was actually shocked that I won. But yeah, no, that was fun. And
No, I wasn't. 'Cause she was one of the only ones hitting me up throughout the week for nutrition guidance, and other people hit me up too. But she was the most consistent, and even and accountable. Like, bro, I sucked this week,
Listen.
but I'm going to get to it, right? And again, just hitting me up being like, hey, all right, this is my meals. Can you look at them and tell me how they look like? That's somebody who's trying to put effort in. You're going to get results there.
Yeah.
Right? So shout out to Dom.
Shout out.
Motivation, Brandy. Let's go. You next.
Look.
Listen,
Look
we
at
should
there.
do one.
I'm
We
going to shock
should
y'all.
We should.
I'm down. I'm down to bring another challenge. I haven't done one in a while.
We will talk. Yes, let's talk about that. We could. Yeah, we could. Maybe we could do one for Hey Fave.
Yeah, I love
That's
it.
dope.
Me and Brandy for sure do it. But if any of you guys want to join in, and then we'll find a way to,
Tap in. Let's go.
Yes,
I love
I'm
it.
excited.
Yay!
Do you have any more questions, Brandy, or are we?
No, I am satisfied.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. This is great.
It was
Motivating. Okay.
awesome.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us for another episode of Hey Fave. Please make sure you follow us and rate us on all of our podcast platforms. Watch us on YouTube. Talk to us in the comments. We talk back. If y'all talk to us.
Yeah.
Yes. Follow DJ. Okay,
Yes.
on everything, and let's get it. Okay,
Absolutely.
let's make some changes. Okay, guys.
Absolutely.
All right.
You got this.
Yes, and we're gonna see you on the next episode. All right, guys. Peace out.
Bye.